Okay, so good afternoon. Previously, we considered related to uh, the gate characteristics of the SCR, isn't it? So whenever we are going to consider the gate characteristics or gating requirements for the SCR, those gating requirements for the SCR are going to be majorly three conditions. So one is going to be required the gate what we are going to choose, gate signal what we are going to choose should have required rise time, short rise time. Second thing, it should have uh, um, the corresponding amplitude as well as the duration. Okay, so what and the last requirement for a successful triggering is going to be favorable conditions in the circuit. Okay, in the power circuit. Okay, so whenever you are going to consider these whenever you are going to consider the gate requirements, so the gate requirements are going to be these. So why we need to consider all these means, if there is any fluctuations in the gate circuit, if there is any fluctuations in the power circuit, whatever the magnitude of the gate current we are going to give, that may not, that initially may trigger the SCR, but whenever the transients in the voltage in the power circuit occur, then immediately the conducting SCR maybe latches back to the blocking state. Okay, so the general consideration for the gate current is going to be 1.4 times. The general considerations of the gate current is going to be 1.4 times of the IG minimum value. Okay, so the general gate current is going to be 1.4 times of the IG minimum value. So IG minimum value is going to be defined in the specification sheet, and we are going to choose 1.4 times of IG minimum value for successful triggering. This 1.4 times of IG minimum value is going to trigger the device when it is going to have a sufficient short rise time. Sufficient short rise time means if the gate pulse is going to be applied to a duration of around 5 milliseconds, in these 5 milliseconds, in a span of 0.5 milliseconds, that particular magnitude should attain. Okay, so in that case only, the what is the advantage of choosing the short rise time means, the SCR is going to be, the SCR is going to be turned on quickly. If the rise time is not provided, then ultimately, if the rise time is high, then ultimately you are going to have a large turn on time. So to reduce the turn on time, we are going to consider the short rise time. Okay, okay, so that is what it is going to be considered in the case of the gate triggering circuits. In general, whenever you are going to consider this gate, the gate is going to be done, the gate is going to be considered by means of a pulse transform. Gate circuit is going to be considered by means of a pulse transformer. Okay, one second. In this case, whenever you are going to consider this thing, to this, on the top of this n layer, this what you are going to consider here is going to be nothing but an insulating material provided with a silicon dioxide. It is going to be nothing but a insulating material provided with the silicon dioxide. So here you are going to have a silicon dioxide layer, and this silicon dioxide layer is nothing but it is going to be an insulating material. Okay, to this insulating material, metallic contacts are going to be fabricated. These are going to be the metallic contacts which are going to be fabricated. Okay, so one acts to be as the drain and one acts to be as a source. Okay, in between these two, on the top of this insulated silicon dioxide layer, you are going to have the gate terminal. Okay, so this is going to be the gate terminal, this is going to be the drain, and this is going to be the source. Okay, whenever you are going to consider the junctions provided here, what could be the junctions that are going to be provided here? So between these two, you are going to have one junction, that is going to be P and N plus. Okay, one junction forming between the lightly doped P layer and N heavily doped N layer. And again, when you are going to consider here, you are going to have one junction formed between this P layer and N plus one layer, isn't it? So two junctions here are going to be provided. So whenever we need to consider the conduction, always the conduction is to be provided. Always the conduction is going to be provided between the terminals connected between the power circuit. The terminals connected between the power circuit are going to be always from source and drain. Source and power circuit is going to be connected between the source and drain. Okay, so that means two heavily doped N substrates provided with a metal contacts, those are going to be connected with the power circuit. Okay, so coming to this N layer, so coming to this gate circuit, the gate circuit is going to be provided with a metal contact, in which it is going to be provided on the top of a insulated silicon dioxide layer. Okay, so whenever we need to make the conduction, then what will happen? All the junctions here, this particular junction should allow the free current or mobility of the charge carriers. Similarly, this particular junction should provide the mobility of the free charge carriers. In that case, the charge may be, if this is going to be the positive terminal, from this positive to this load to this drain to this source, and source to the return, you are going to have a current conduction provided. Okay, if the junctions are going to be blocked, then ultimately there is no current conduction provided. So in the case of this MOSFET provided, ultimately you are going to have the current conduction provided when the junctions are going to be forward biased. For making the junctions forward biased, what we are going to do, that is going to be whenever the supply is going to be connected, this is going to be positive connected here, isn't it? The positive is going to be connected here, and whenever you are going to consider the negative terminal, the negative is going to be connected here. Okay, in this case, whenever you are going to consider this, then for the operation, whenever you need to make the current conduction, the devices should be that is, the junction should be forward biased. For making the forward biasing of the junction, what it is going to be done means, we are going to connect a small potential source, very small potential source, that may be 2 volts, 3 volts, or 5 volts, like that. That potential source is going to be connected between the source and the gate. Whenever this source and gate are going to be connected, ultimately what you are going to get means, between this insulating material and this terminal, you are going to have an electric field which is going to be developing. So whenever the electric field is going to be developing here, then ultimately you are going to have the polarities which are going to be providing as of here. So a negative charge on the upper side and positive charge on the lower side of the insulating material. So due to this positive charge in this, you are going to have the attraction of the negative charge, that is going to be the electrons are going to be attracted here. Once the electrons are going to be attracted here from this P substrate, then ultimately these junctions are going to be break down, and you are going to have a current conduction continuously. You are going to have the current conduction continuously. So whenever a gate signal is going to be provided, then the device is going to be starts conducting, and the current flows from this positive terminal to this drain, from this drain to source. Okay, one point to be identified here, to be remembered here in this case is, if we are going to increase this intensity of the current, gate current, if we are going to increase the intensity of the gate current, then ultimately the field developed here is also going to be increased, that is enhanced. When once the field developed here is also whenever the field enhances here, then ultimately the charge capacity, the transfer capacity is going to be increasing. That means the current handling capacity is going to be increasing. That you can observe that from the characteristics of this MOSFET. Okay, on a brief, the symbolic representation for the gate for the MOSFET is going to be like this. It is going to be provided with three terminals: gate, drain, and source. Gate, drain, and source. Okay, so in general, the power circuit is going to be connected between the drain and the source, and gate circuit is going to be connected between the gate and the source. Okay, so whenever we need to make the current conduction, then this gate is going to be provided. Here there are two configurations of the MOSFET. Here there are going to be two configurations of the MOSFET depending upon the layer which is going to be fabricated. Okay, so here if this n+1 layer is going to be fabricated, then this particular channel, this type of MOSFET is considered to be as an n-channel enhanced MOSFET. N-channel enhanced MOSFET. Okay, if this is going to be provided with a P layer, that is heavily doped P layer, then it is considered to be as a P channel enhanced MOSFET. So you can consider the difference here in this representation. Okay, so here whenever you are going to consider this is going to be the gate and drain are going to be provided, sorry, the source and drain are going to be provided with N channel, heavily doped N channel substrate. Okay, so this is nothing but considered to be as an N channel MOSFET. Okay, normally you are going to have P in the depletion layer. Okay, and in this depletion layer you are going to have the P substrate. To this an N substrate is going to be fabricated, then it is nothing but an N channel MOSFET. If it is going to be done in reverse, N material is going to be provided here, and highly doped P layers are going to be fabricated here, then it is nothing but called as a P channel MOSFET. So the symbolic representation for this is going to be this. Okay, so the structure is going to be like this. You are going to have the terminals, source, gate, and a drain, which is going to be having the heavily doped P layer. Okay, the region between these two P layers is nothing but called as a channel, P channel region. So this is P channel MOSFET, enhanced MOSFET, and N channel enhanced MOSFET. Why it is going to be called as an P channel enhanced and N channel enhanced means, as the conductivity is going to be increasing, the conductivity here is going to be increasing on the basis of the gate current intensity. So this is considered to be as an enhanced MOSFETs. Okay, so these enhanced MOSFETs are going to be depending upon the gate. Generally, when the MOSFET is going to be in the off state, then the gate circuit is going to have an high impedance, very high impedance. It is going to be of an order 10 to the power of 9 ohms. The gate circuit is going to be offering a high impedance. Okay, so in general, whenever we are going to consider this, so which type of applications are these MOSFETs are going to be provided, can be considered, means these MOSFETs are going to be considered for generally they are going to be used for high switching applications. As the switching time is going to be quite low, these MOSFETs are going to be employed for high switching. Okay, very fast switching. But the major drawback with the MOSFETs is going to be the on-state conduction losses is going to be very high. On-state conduction losses is going to be high. Okay, so as the on-state conduction losses are going to be high, then the power loss in the conduction span is going to be high. The power loss in the conduction span is going to be quite high. Okay, so that is going to be, so is it clear with the difference between an N channel and a P channel MOSFET? Okay, so whenever you are going to consider the characteristics of the MOSFET, the characteristics of the MOSFET are going to be considered between the drain current, the current which is going to be provided from the source to the drain. Okay, drain to the source, the current value, and whatever the magnitude, that is VGS, is going to be considered. Okay, so on x-axis you are going to consider the gate source voltage. Okay, it will be 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 like that. Gate source voltage is going to be 2, 4, 6 like that. And whenever you are going to consider the y-axis, that is the magnitude of the current provided from the drain to source, that magnitude is going to be nothing but its value is going to be considered in terms of amperes. Okay, so here whenever you are going to consider the characteristics, it may be somewhere like 2 volts. What will happen? The gate circuit is not closed. So as the gate circuit is going to be not closed, there is no conduction. So here you may consider that to be of a leakage current, small amount of leakage current. Okay, so after that, if you are going to consider a current of voltage of 4 volts, at this case the gate circuit is going to be closed. Once the gate circuit is going to be closed, then you are going to have the current which is going to be providing in this. Okay, if we are go on increasing the current gate circuit voltage, you are simply enhancing the injected current on injected, that is you are going to simply enhance the electric field between the gate and the p channel or n channel. In that case, as the electric field is going to be increased, then you are going to have a high mobility, so the current value is going to be increasing. So this is going to be the curve which is steeply rising, that for low voltages of gate circuit you are going to have low currents. So that may be for 4, you may have a current of around 5 amperes. For a 6 you may have a current of 20 amperes. For 8 you may have a current of around 50 amperes, like that. Okay, so y-axis it represents the current which is drained, and on x-axis it is going to be the gate source voltage. Okay, and these are going to be the output characteristics. These are going to be the output characteristics considered. Output characteristics considered in the case of output characteristics considered in the case of this MOSFET. So the drain current versus the voltage. Drain current versus the voltage. So whenever you are going to consider the drain and source voltage, so drain and source voltage, this is going to be the voltage which is going to be provided between the drain and source. Okay, and the current which is going to be drawn from the source, drain to the source, that is going to be the current. Whenever this is going to be considered, value is going to be dependent completely on whatever we considered earlier, that is going to be VGS1, S2, S3. What is this VGS1? Voltage applied between the gate and source at first instant, voltage applied at gate and source at second instant having a higher magnitude, voltage applied between the gate and source at some other instant having a higher magnitude of voltage. So this may be 2 volts, this may be 4 volts, this may be 6 volts, this may be 10 volts, like that. Whenever the voltage between the gate and source are going to be increased, then ultimately the current handling capability of the device is going to be increasing. The current handling capability. So somewhere you may have the current of 5 amperes, 10 amperes, 15 amperes, 20 amperes, 25, 30, like that. So as the gate current is going to be increasing, you are going to have a current handling which is going to be increasing. This is going to be in general the characteristics, output characteristics of the MOSFET. Okay, so once again simply I am briefing this. So MOSFET is going to be 3 terminal devices provided with gate, source and drain. Okay, this is going to have the operation similar to that of a BJT, bipolar junction transistor. The bipolar junction transistor in general, it is going to have the terminals as base, emitter and collector. But whenever we are going to consider the power MOSFET, the terminals are going to be named to be as drain, gate and source. Okay, in this whenever you are going to consider this symbol here, arrow represented here represents or shows our configuration of the device in the symbolic representation. For the case of this n channel, the arrow is going to be inward towards inwards. If you are going to consider the symbolic representation for a p channel, the arrow is going to be outward. Okay, so p channel and n channel are going to have the difference which can be identified by the symbolic representation by the arrow which is going to be used. Okay, so in general when you are going to consider this, the symbolic the brief construction of the MOSFET is going to be, you are going to have a p-type substrate. To this p-type lightly doped substrate and heavily doped n-type substrates are going to be fabricated. on this substance you are going to have an insulating layer. You are going to have a insulating layer made of silicon dioxide, and to the after that you are going to have the ohmic contact, that is going to be the metal contacts provided. So both these n layer, n plus 1 layers are going to be forming two terminals of the device, gate and drain. So the other terminal, which is going to be the nothing but the control terminal, that control terminal is going to be provided to be as gate, which is going to be fabricated over the insulating device. Okay, so normally the power circuit is always connected between drain and source, and control circuit is going to be connected between source and gate. Okay, the current conduction is going to be possible like this, and this current conduction is going to be happened by applying a voltage across the device. Hence the MOSFET is going to be simply considered to be as a voltage control device, voltage controlled device. Okay, but BJTs are going to be nothing but a current control device. But the major drawback associated with this MOSFET is going to be nothing but it is going to be, in the case of this on-state also, it is going to be offering some of the impedance. Due to that particular impedance, the on-state current loss is the on-state power loss is going to be high. Okay, but the major advantage with this is going to be this MOSFET is going to be employed for low power. Due to these high losses, they are going to be employed for low power applications, but for high switching frequencies. So MOSFET can operate up to around megahertz of frequency. Okay, not even kilohertz. It can also capable of operating at megahertz. Okay, so you may consider one thing related to these MOSFETs. After that, we may move to the BJTs. Okay, uh, 1 second. So you are going to have see these packagings of the MOSFET, isn't it? So these are going to be the packagings which are going to be these are going to be the packagings which are going to be considered. So you are going to have a surface mount MOSFET. So in general, IR represents for the MOSFET, symbolic representation for this MOSFET. A device model stated with IR represents MOSFET. So this MOSFET is going to be, general packagings of the MOSFET are going to be these. One is going to be the surface mount. So that means these devices are going to be directly fabricated onto the board. So surface mount, through hole mount. So here you are going to have a hole. Okay, these devices are going to be fabricated onto the heat sink. You are going to have a heat sink provided, that is going to be an aluminum metal heat sink. On this heat sink, these hole through devices are going to be used, and the other configurations are going to be advanced configuration, which are going to be used at the chip level. These are going to be directly fabricated on the PCB levels, PCB board levels. So then generally these are going to be the configurations of the packaging configurations of the MOSFETs. Okay, for general low power applications, in general this hole through MOSFETs are going to be employed, and in some major applications like inverter circuits, or it may be this surface mount are going to be employed. Okay, then you may have one more thing to see, that is going to be related to this related to the uh, specification sheet of this. Okay, so here whenever you are going to consider this in the case of these specifications. Okay, so whenever you are going to consider this specification sheet, this IRF 840, this IRF 840 is going to be nothing but the model number of the MOSFET. Okay, so this here, what this 8 is going to be nothing but it represents the current. 8 is going to be the maximum current represented. Okay, the symbolic the structure of this is going to be like this. Packaging view is going to be like this, and you are going to have the you are going to have the voltages and currents are going to be provided to be like this. Okay, so here whenever you are going to consider this, so the drain to source voltage is going to be 500 volts. VDS, the VDS is going to be maximum voltage is going to be 500 volts. VDGR, that is going to be the drain to gate voltage, is also going to be 500 volts, and continuous drain current. Continuous drain current is going to be the current which is going to be allowed through the device when it is going to be the conduction. Its value is going to be 8 amperes, maximum of 8 amperes. Okay, so if you are going to consider the gate source voltage, the voltage which is going to be connected between the gate and source, its value is going to be around plus or minus 20 volts. So up to 20 volts. Okay, 20 volts, that is going to be the maximum for specifications for this. Okay, so here you are going to consider this time instance. You can consider the time instance here. One is going to be the turn on delay time, rise time, turn off delay time. All these delay times are going to be in terms of nanoseconds, ns. So you are going to have nanosecond. So that states that these devices are going to be very fast switching. They are going to be essentially employed for very fast switching, and they are going to be having an operating temperature of around 50 to 150 degrees. Maximum operating temperature is going to be 150 degrees. Okay, so you may check for the devices, any of the MOSFET devices provided for any of the voltages and values. Okay, so generally generally it is going to be IR stands for the MOSFET, and followed by this 840 or other number that defines the specifications of current voltages, whatever it is going to be handled. Okay, so whenever you are going to consider the other, you may get in another one. This one. Okay, so okay, so this is related to the MOSFET characteristics. Okay, so then we need to consider the other important device which is going to be considered, is going to be nothing but an IGBT, insulated gate bipolar transistor. Insulated gate bipolar transistor. So whenever you are going to consider this insulated gate bipolar transistor, it is going to be nothing but a current control device. It is going to be nothing but a current control device. Generally, all the high power applications are going to be enabled. All the high power applications are going to be enabled with these IGBTs. IGBTs. Okay, either they may be for based on SCRs, or they may be based on these IGBTs. If you are going to consider any compensation, that is going to be the voltage compensation employed in AC transmission lines, those are going to have an operating values of around 50 kV, 132 kV, like that. On those lines, in general, these IGBTs are going to be employed. Why they are going to be employed? IGBTs are going to be employed means these IGBTs are going to have a high handling capacity, and second thing is the conduction losses is going to be less. The conduction losses is going to be less. Okay, so here whenever you are going to consider these devices are going to have the conduction losses which are going to be very less, and they are going to have the high switching frequency. So you can consider this. Here you can consider the here you can consider the symbolic representation. It is going to be nothing but a combination of a MOSFET, N-channel MOSFET provided with a PNP transistor. Okay, so the simplified equivalent circuit for a IGBT is going to be nothing but an N-channel MOSFET combined with a PNP transistor, totally going to give the device which is going to be IGBT. So this IGBT is going to have 3 terminals provided. So these 3 terminals are going to be the gate, collector, and the emitter. Gate, collector, and the emitter, and the symbolic representation for this is going to be like this. Okay, so the gate is going to be insulated. The gate is going to be insulated. You are going to separately draw a line which represents the gate. To that you are going to have a terminal gate, and collector and emitter are going to be like this, and the voltage applied between these is going to be VCE. Okay, so this is going to be nothing but a symbolic representation for the IGBT. Okay, whenever you are going to consider this, it is going to be in this particular structure of an IGBT. What you are going to consider earlier, whenever you are going to consider this MOSFET, in the case of this MOSFET, what you are going to have, you are simply going to have a P layer. To this P layer, the heavily doped N layers are going to be fabricated, isn't it? So here in this case of in the case of this IGBT, so you are going to have two n layers. To these two n layers, you are going to have a normal moderately doped p layers, and you are going to have an n minus 1 drift layer, n minus 1 drift layer, and a heavily doped p layer. To this heavy doped p layer, you are going to have the connection anode connected, and you are going to have the gate cathode. Okay, so these are going to be nothing but the equivalent representations for the IGBT, equivalent representation for the IGBT. What is the advantage of considering this IGBT means? It is going to have the current handling capability like BJTs, and it is going to have the transaction same as of the MOSFET, which is going to be high switching. Okay, so whenever you are going to consider this, the structure is going to be like this here. Okay, so uh, you may consider this here. So in this case, you are going to have a metal contact providing the terminals emitter. These terminals emitters are going to be nothing but this P layer. So the emitters are going to be connected to the moderately doped P layers. Okay, both are going to be forming the moderately doped P layers are going to be nothing but the emitters. Okay, and whenever you are going to consider the collector here, the collector is going to be provided with a heavily doped substrate P layer. Okay, in between these two P layers, you are going to have a lightly doped N layer, N minus 1 substrate. Okay, so whenever you are going to consider, the emitter terminals are going to be connected, and you are going to have one emitter terminal available here as an output, and you are going to have the collector terminal, one collector terminal to be available. And same as in the case of MOSFET, you are going to fabricate a metal contact for the gate. You are going to have a metal terminal for the gate. So whenever you are going to consider the current conduction, the current conduction is going to be current conduction is going to be done between the collector and the emitters, collector and the emitters. So what will happen? Both the emitters are going to be connected, and these emitters are going to be connected to the power circuit with positive to the collector and negative to the emitters. Okay, and between these two, you are going to have the gate terminal. The gate terminal is going to be connected between the emitter and the gate. Okay, before this gate terminal is going to be closed, you are going to have zero current conduction provided through these emitters. Okay, as the internal junctions provided in the structure are going to be having the blocking. Okay, that blocking is going to be removed by simply providing a voltage over this, by simply providing a voltage across the gate terminal. So the electric field between the gate terminal is going to attract the electrons, and these negative charge carriers are going to start the conduction. So you are going to have the current flow provided from this current flow from the collector to this emitter, collector to the emitter. So this is briefly the operation for the IGBT defined. Okay, so here whenever you are going to consider, the structure of the IGBT is going to be like this, and you are going to have different packages provided for these IGBTs also, and specifications. So the characteristics are going to be the same. All the characteristics are going to be the same. So you are going to have uh, uh, between voltage applied between the collector and the emitter, and you are going to have the current which is going to be passed. All the voltage, if the voltage is going to be increasing, the current is going to be increasing depending upon this gate emitter voltage magnitude, same as in the case of MOSFET. Okay, and this is going to be the characteristics between the gate emitter voltage and the current. Okay, both the characteristics of MOSFET and IGBT are going to be the same, but the main advantage with the IGBT is on-state conduction loss are going to be less. On-state conduction losses are going to be the less, and switching is going to be fast. Okay, so this is related to the IGBT. Simply you refer to this IGBT static VI characteristics and transfer characteristics of the IGBT, and we may consider the representation for these one second. Okay, so this is going to be related to the IGBT, specifications related to the IGBT. So here you are going to consider an IGBT which is going to be having uh, voltage of 4500 volts, operating voltage of 4500 volts and 60 amperes. The packaging is going to be like this. Okay, So here, whenever you are going to consider the specifications provided, so this is going to be the specifications of the dimensions provided, and you may consider the practical specifications here. So the voltage, operating voltage here is going to be 4500 volts. Okay, emitter collector maximum voltage is going to be 4500 volts. Gate emitter voltage is going to be 20 volts plus or minus 20 volts, and the collector current is going to be 60 amperes. Maximum current provided is going to be 60 amperes. And whenever you are going to consider the junction temperature, its value is going to be from minus 55 to 150 degrees, maximum of 150 degrees. Okay, so here whenever you are going to consider the other, that is going to be the switching time characteristics. So the rise time, delay time, and fall time, all these are going to be related in terms of microseconds, 2.4 microseconds, 6.0 microseconds, like that. So which states that the devices are going to have a high switching, and you are going to have the characteristics, transfer characteristics and output characteristics are going to be like this, defined for different voltages. So this is going to be for 8 volts, 10 volts, 12 volts, 14 volts, 20 volts, like that. Okay, so this device is going to have a gate characteristics to be of maximum of 20 volts. So you may vary the gate voltage, uh, we may vary the gate and collector voltage, gate and emitter voltage defined from 3 volts to this 20 volts, and you are going to have the characteristics provided here to be like this. Okay, so this is related to the characteristics of the IGBT. Okay, so if there is any practical application related to this IGBT, I may provide you in the next session related to the practical operation of IGBTs employed in any application. Okay, so that is related to this here. So you may consider uh, you may consider this. So with this, whenever we are going to consider these topics, we considered related to the basic power electronic devices, converters, basic types of converters. We considered related to the characteristics of devices. We considered related to the tone on methods and tone off methods of SCR. We considered related to the two transistor analogy, everything. Okay, and we consider related to the gated triggering requirements for SCRs. Okay, so all these are going to be completely in your from your first unit, and the first unit is going to be completed, and in the next session we may complete the we may start the second unit, that is going to be the control rectifiers. So before considering these control rectifiers, you need to know a small thing related to this. I may ask a question related to this. So I need to design a converter. Okay, the converter voltage rating is going to be around 1200 volts. The converter should handle a voltage of 1200 volts. Okay, then but in the practical market, the SCRs which are available are going to be of 400 volts and 600 volts. The SCRs are going to be available are going to be of 400 volts and 600 volts. Okay, then how may I may design a converter, as the converter ratings are not going to be available of the required value. Then how to design the converter? So this is the question. You need to answer the question by the next session. Okay, similarly, if the current ratings are going to be, I need to design a converter handling a current of around 20 amperes, but the SCRs available in the market are going to be simply 4 amperes. Okay, in that case, what is the feasibility? What is the feasibility for designing the converters? Can we design the converter with the available ones, or we may not able to design the converter? That is my question. Is the question is clear? If the question is clear, then you need to answer it by the by the next session. Okay, so then is there anything doubts related to this?